Two teams here fresh off Week 1 victories. Who can keep it going as we're underway on EA Sports? And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Well, this defense for the Bengals, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there, and they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. And again, it's Chubb. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. That gain of 9 buys them a new set of downs. 3rd and short, so didn't need much, but got a little extra on the backside. Nice run.
Chewed up the yardage, didn't he? To me, that was offensive line with leverage, good blocking angles, taking on a stacked defensive front. And once they chopped that little hole in the beginning, he took it and rambled.
And just the 3rd play from scrimmage, wanted to avoid the 3 and out and did just that. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Let's go one more. Check 50, check 50. Check 37, check 37. Spot.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense, I think, in the future. If you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double-team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
From the 50, it's Watson. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's going to be a yard short. Needed 4, but got 3. So the hand got inside the face mask that time. Looked like a pretty easy call.
And it was, and we saw this in their loss last week. Penalties at inopportune times that led to their demise.
So the penalty yards marched off on the face mask. Here's 1st and 10. He finds his man, complete. That's Grant. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. So after several rushes to start the game, Charles, they go to the air there and get a nice completion.
Nice mix-up on the play calling, right? Establish the running game, make the defense think you're going to do it again, and then hit them over the top. Now you've got them betwixt and between. They don't know which way you're going to come at them.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
He's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7.
Well, this has certainly been a nice drive with the way they've spread the football around. Here, they even get the fullback involved in the passing game. That's got to cause a lot of consternation on the defensive side. You've got to cover him, too. That makes things really difficult.
This will be play number 9 coming up on this relatively long opening drive as they look to convert on third down.
Hey, switch gears, switch gears. Slap, slap, slap. Kick. Hey, turn it up. Check. Hey, we got to snap it.
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. Fourth down.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Where's the tag? 19. Two times. Alert. 3 down.
Here we go on fourth. Watson.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
He's at the 50, the 30, 10, and he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD.
It's only the first quarter, but that's a quick shift of momentum right there because they were driving the football before that interception. And then not only, Charles, do they throw the pick, but it gets returned all the other way for the score.
I think the important thing here was it backed up in their own territory. This defense didn't blink. They hung in there, waited for the offense to make a mistake, and as soon as they did, they capitalized in the biggest way possible.
The Browns drive about to get started.
Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Now it's Watson.
That's into a crowd and intercepted. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football.
And, partner, I think this is where long-term starters in the NFL separate themselves from the rest of the pack because there's still 3 full quarters left in this one. More than enough time to move past a pair of early mistakes and find a way to lead your team to a win. Mental resiliency, a characteristic every NFL team's looking for in their quarterback.
Mixon with a first down carry. And able to work his way down to the 16. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. They'll try and run this one right up the gut. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. It's rare that a man his size can at least push forward for a yard, but they stopped him there for nothing.
You're talking about Tiny? You're talking about the little guy back there?
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
And that was Carlos Dunlap who got in to take him down. So on fourth down, on is Evan McPherson and the Bengal field goal unit. McPherson's kick is good.
And that will extend their lead even further.
Well, it's not the touchdown that they wanted, CD, but still, they got to be pretty happy here. You steal the ball away from them on their opening possession, and you turn that into the early 3-0 lead.
Yeah, you painted the picture perfectly there, all the things that have gone on. And the important thing, other than the lead, of course, is as you described, both sides of the ball now have some momentum.
The Browns drive about to get started. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath, first do no harm. And right now they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. They begin this drive with Chubb. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They run again on 1st down, Chubb. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now Watson. Looking deep downfield. And now Watson throws another interception. And the Bengals force the turnover, and they'll take over at the 10. A nightmare of a first half for him. That's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go in the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
Come on.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll drop to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. So the completion good for 7 there. And that will bring up 3rd and 1. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Hands it off out of the gun. And he's going to get the 1st down as they bring him down at the 23. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
The Bengals at 1-0 on the year following the win in Week 1, and they were able to get that road victory in the opener, and now they look to get to 2-0 in front of the home crowd.
And look, any road win in the NFL, that's huge. But when you do it Week 1, that gets you pointed in the right direction and sends notice to the rest of the league that you mean business.
That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Right there, 54, right there, 54.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
I certainly like what he did right there, because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
On 2nd down, they'll run it here.
And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30.
Give them 17 and a Cincinnati first down.
Well, if they continue to run the football this strong, right up the middle, I don't know if they can wait till halftime to make adjustments. They better find a way to get it done series to series. I don't know if they need to sub some guys out, bring in extra people, maybe change what they're doing on the defensive side.
Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up second. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. So second and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down.
Well, sometimes the defense just beats you. Great coverage from the secondary. All of them in the proper position. So instead of trying to throw into tight coverage, he found a way to throw it away and come back and try again the next down.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete.
I may be an analyst, but I'm also a fan. I love it when people take the big shots downfield, but he was under a lot of duress. And I think that forced the incompletion downfield. Didn't have a real good chance to find his target.
McPherson's kick is good.
And that will extend their lead even further.
Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
The Browns drive about to get started. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Watson on first down. Drops it off for Chubb. Solid move, but he's corralled just beyond the 40.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. But I think Brown was able to recover, and they'll indeed hold on to the ball here.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage. But I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a third down.
A shotgun snap for Watson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
Cougar 19.
They go play action here on first down.
Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete.
He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. An excellent pickup of 20 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football.
Touchdown, Bengals. A great play there as the first half is winding down.
And the Bengals would extend their lead here just before halftime. McPherson now for the extra point.
And that one pushes the lead up to an even 20.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
The Browns drive about to get started.
And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together.
Pretty good results here on the first down run as he takes us forward for about 6. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, and how about this right out of the locker room? An onside kick attempt. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
A very good starting field position for the Bengals here as they come up 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. Mixon will get it to start the second half. And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. Levante David in on the tackle. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Terry. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. Only took him 3 plays, and they're already in the red zone, just like that.
We spent a lot of time talking about what's going on the field. How about off the field with the evaluation? And they spent a lot of time saying, we've got to get a rookie in here who has big playability. And that's exactly what we're seeing here early in his career.
Drafted him in the spring. Here he is early in the fall making an impact. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down. You're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And a nice pick up there. He gets about 5 down to the 4-yard line.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
On third down, they're going to run for it here. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need 1. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
60 Bison, 70 Timberwolves.
And no signal yet. I don't think he got in. He didn't. They'll mark him at the 1. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal.
And now defensively, you have to look at this like the game's on the line. It's just the third quarter, but another touchdown given up here could really spell an end to their chances. So they need to toughen up and keep them out of the end zone.
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. A great effort there.
His 3rd rushing touchdown on the year as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead.
And oh, it's no good on the PAT, so they can't add on here. And our score is going to stay right where it is. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. The Browns drive about to get started.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said,
and now here is another interception.
And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football.
I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. Inside handoff to Mixon. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Check pass. Check pass.
Here's a 2nd and 7. And this is caught inside the 5. Touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season.
And the Bengals are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
The Browns drive about to get started.
Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
So 8 yards on the completion there, and it'll be 2nd and a couple.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Trey Hendrickson showing off his pass rush repertoire that time.
Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long after that sack. What does Watson have in his arsenal? Here comes the blitz as they look to throw. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
And they'll send the tight end in motion left. On 4th down, Watson. And my goodness, another interception.
Daxton Hill picks it off.
And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD. So they will tread backward on the holding penalty.
And I know that they're going to get coached up and they'll get yelled at a little bit, but let's face it, it is hard not to do at the speed and pace that they play.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10.
19 Tiger, 19 Tiger.
Now a handoff running through the middle. And he will force his way forward for a yard or two, but I have a good feeling this will be coming back. He was trying to clear the way, the big fullback. Instead he gets a hole.
And you don't see that very often on running plays from those guys because usually they're the lead blocker. Normally when he gets caught, it's in a passing situation.
Right there, hurt. Ready.
Mixing up the middle. And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On 2nd down, they'll run it here. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Only 3 yards on the pickup. They'll be left staring at a 3rd and 14.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Flush to his right. And they'll get him down at the 34, and he's going to be short of the first by a few yards. Able to pick up a dozen yards, but they needed more. 4th down.
That was a good effort there, trying to do it on his own, but as a defender, you're in a tough spot because you have coverage responsibilities behind you, and if you take off too quick to try and get him down, he might loft it over your head.
So better to track with your man defensively than try to go up and make a stop on the quarterback.
Exactly right. What you're hoping is that your guys in the front 7 can get him down.
McPherson's kick is good.
And that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so that you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Browns drive about to get started.
At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the 4th quarter, facing the big deficit. What silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny. I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like 1 possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run to have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Big edge, big edge, big edge.
3rd and long. It's Watson. Looking left side, and it's complete. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down.
Well, he's had the interception woes in this one, Charles, and that time a little bold to throw it into double coverage, but he beat the double coverage.
Yeah, but I admire that he still will challenge defenders downfield, even though the ball's been in jeopardy a few times in this game. A nice ball there against multiple defenders, and they advance it downfield.
And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Work to do here to avoid falling to 1-1, but this is 1st and 10 right now.
Here's Watson. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
From the 35, back to work on 2nd and 4.
Here's Watson.
He's going to have the hook up to Schwartz.
Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double.
And now here is another interception.
Daxton Hill picks it off, and the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
And he's going to get this all the way down to the 2 before he's wrestled out. 61 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times. Big run here in the 4th as they continue to wear down this defense.
And that's when the offensive line coach clicks onto the headset and says, head coach, offense coordinator, let my guys fire out and hit people. We're wearing.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
So how about this start to a year? Fantasy owners take note. 2 rushing touchdowns in the opener. 2 more here in week 2.
So a nice pickup by 2 entities. 1, this team for making sure they acquired this guy. And 2, anyone who plays fantasy who has him on their team.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. It's been a tough go for them. Still without any points here in the 4th quarter. And a big deficit, Charles. But they moved the football on some drives. They just haven't had any points.
Yeah, and I know in their minds they're thinking the game plan has actually been working. We just haven't scored points. Well, isn't that the bottom line, partner? To put points on the board? So if you're moving it and you're not scoring, is it really working? Right now, they've got nothing left to lose. They might as well go for broke.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Check, check, check. 49, guys. Mike, 49. Here we go. Bang, 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 bang.
Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. And this will probably be the final play before the 2-minute warning.
Check it out, read. Check 9.
And they'll send the slot in motion left.
Motion out of the backfield. 49.
On 2nd and 11 now. Watson. They set up the screen to Chubb. Room here to run. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Here we go. 24. Guys, Mike, 49.
From the gun, here's Watson. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop them here on 3rd down.
Mike 52. Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? Heavy? Give me some. Here we go. Where's 52? Watch 52. 52 is the 31. Twist.
Watson. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes.
Mike 52. You gonna see me in your nightmares, son. You gonna see me in your nightmares. Rush in.
Desperation time. Watson on 4th down. He's going to let it fly. And incomplete on the deep ball. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Bengals are going to get it back in terrific field position. They've gone final now in Charlotte, and it was the Panthers that wound up winning that one. If they hold on, a victory there would be their 3rd of the year. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal 1st down.
Ready, set.
So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals.